Presents exciting new opportunities for the investment-minded, but it's also volatile and accelerating in complexity. That's why we created Token Metrics, an intelligent crypto platform backed by an industry-leading combination of data, AI, and media that feeds optimized portfolios to crypto investors. Featuring Token Metrics ratings to help you find the best investment opportunities in real time, an indices page that showcases various model portfolios and deep insights into price predictions and technical analysis. Plus, with access to Token Metrics TV, monitor 24/7 exclusive crypto news and analysis. Whether you're a first-time trader or a seasoned crypto investor, you can stay informed and in control, backed by your all-in-one crypto companion, Token Metrics. Take control of crypto today at
We are live. Welcome. This is the Market Update. I'm your host, Bill Noble. This show is brought to you by TokenMetrics.com and Astrobot Society. What's Astrobot Society? Well, go on Twitter and go to @Astrobot Society and find out about art with function. Okay? If you need a roadmap in crypto, you're in the right place. Subscribe to this channel. Turn on alerts so you know when we're going live, and smash the like button. Just smash it. All right, let's welcome who's on the stream. We have Tina from the University of Texas. We have Ali first on the stream. Crypto Lion from Arkansas. San Paulo is here, right? We have Mexico in the house. We have Jersey. Coyote from Jersey, welcome. Houston, Texas, Fuelman 911, right? Hamilton, Ontario, all right? Oxford is here looking for work on Link and Engine Coin. Let me write that down, right? Crypto Fish, the pole bearer returns. We'll see how we'll see how bearish this thing turns out to be, right? Notorious, thanks for the plug on Astrobot Society. Louisiana, XRP, welcome. Andre says, it feels terrible to be short. I kind of agree. Makes me feel a little guilty being negative here, unless there's something out there again, right? So, Broken Noodle to the moon and beyond. Tampa Bay. Leeds, England. Thank you for coming in every day. We appreciate that. Crypto Lion says, I'm happy that you're not wearing a red t-shirt. No, I'm not. Very good observation. I am not wearing a red t-shirt. Okay, SKT Khan wants to know about ETH, NEAR, Matic, and Zcash. Oh, Zcash, what a heartbreaker. Okay. Observer says, smash the like button. Okay, we also have Wisconsin and the Netherlands. All right, and Pat wants me to make him a gazillionaire. All right, Pat, I can do you one better. I can point you to the charts and the tools to help you make yourself a zillionaire. But don't worry, I'm on top of it. And of course, we have Georgia in the house. We always appreciate our guys from Georgia. That's BitBoy country down there. All right. One guy says 1250 bounce in ETH. If it gets that low, that's Bob Marsh. Okay. Let's take a look. Let's look at the news of the day. Let's do a market check, and then we will see what's up here. Okay. So, a lot of red ink on the screen, right? Right. ETH below the 38% retracement at 1414, and it's down 4%, and they're selling it with reckless abandon. So I'm going to go over later scenarios for what's happening, because remember, we have the Fed tomorrow, right? It's sort of odd that they're selling everything in front of the Fed. I think it's not odd that they're selling equities in front of the Fed, but I'm just kind of wondering why they're pounding on crypto. I'll go into that later. All right. So with the market check done, let's do some news. You can now earn Bitcoin by playing Solitaire and Sudoku. You know, it's really funny. As the market goes down, crypto adoption is actually picking up. It's kind of funny, right? All right. U.S. senators push a bill to make small crypto transactions tax-free. Again, more adoption, more, mainstream usage of crypto from U.S. senators. So the SEC is all about FUD, and the Senate is like, let's make it easier on the people. And that's good, because Congress should be by the people and for the people, where, we're not really sure what government regulators are doing. However, the CFTC is actually getting more open-minded. More on that later. The merge is Ethereum's chance to take over Bitcoin. Okay. Now, I think the merge is something that's not getting enough talk. I know that was kind of the reason for the big spike up, but, really, you want to sell ETH like 1,300, 1,200? Really? I don't know. I mean, the only reason to do that is blank. Stay tuned, I'll tell you. Right? But wow, I mean, there's got to be more. There's got to be a problem I'll discuss later. In the meantime, I'm kind of looking at this like, wow, really? I mean, it's corrective, and they're certainly pushing everybody out in front of the Fed. But I think adoption and this type of stuff is what you should be focused on. Now, you don't know this about me, but I'm a super patriotic guy. Really. I actually went through an application process to be a Secret Service agent a long time ago. I got kind of to the finals to get selected to go to boot camp and didn't make it. But I'm a super patriotic guy. And this really hurts when I see stuff like this. Like, Joe Biden says U.S. is not going to be in a recession. All right. Now, we're going to go over some stuff later. And it's like, can we please tell the people the truth? Can we tell them the truth about what's happening? Remember how inflation was transitory? That was the Fed lying to people. I'm not really sure what the president is doing, especially when you look at Walmart earnings and what McDonald's has said, right? The least of our brothers and sisters. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to cover that in a minute. Okay. And then we have the CFTC announces new tech innovation to oversee crypto. The Commodity Futures Trading Commission, which stands to gain greater authority over digital assets under the congressional bill, is setting up a new Office of Technology Innovation. Does that sound like hostility to crypto to you? Okay, yeah, the SEC has always got a bug up there, you know what, but these are the guys that are going to have the most control. Okay? So the news is crypto positive. So why is crypto getting hammered? That's the big question. So with the Fed coming up tomorrow, we are now going to go through your market update, and we're going to do a Fed preview. Okay. So yesterday I did a video where I was kind of like, why is everyone selling it? And then today, this is going to have to tide you over for 2 days, right? Because tomorrow's market update is for premium customers only, right? So this is the Fed preview, right? And the two scenarios that go with it, right? There's recession and something else. Let's discuss it. You can get 20% off Token Metrics with the code TM20. So if you want that special Wednesday market update and you're looking for real research on altcoins that you either have to get out of or could survive if the Fed pivots, 20% off. Now, let's look at Google searches for recession. Let's think about this. So I guess people see it in the news media, okay? But I mean, honestly, would you wake up in the morning and be like, you know what? I need to go on Google and search recession. I mean, when Bitcoin is way up or Bitcoin is way down, we understand those searches, but, Joe Public is out there going, I want to look for signs of a recession. I'm interested in this. Okay. So much for there's no recession, right? Walmart plunges after slashing profit outlook, blames fuel and food costs. Okay. Walmart says, that they're getting slammed because they had problems with inventory. So they have too many goods on hand that they can't sell. And down here, it says this is affecting customers' ability to spend on general merchandising, meaning food and fuel, requiring more markdowns to move through the inventory, particularly apparel. Ever shop for clothing at Walmart? Most items are below $25, and a lot of items are below 10 or 12. Okay, this is people at the lower end of the spectrum just getting erased off the face of the earth. So if they're not buying $25 apparel items at Walmart, are they buying cars, furniture, computers, iPhones? Right? And again, this is just Walmart reporting. We haven't heard from anybody else yet. State of the U.S. consumer. McDonald's customers trading down, buying value items as combos increasingly unaffordable. In other words, do you want fries with that? No, I don't. I can't afford the fries. Okay. This offers a zero hedge highlights a grim warning about inflation and the consumer. So does the Fed need to increase rates tomorrow? Yeah. Is that predicted? Is that completely given? Yeah. Right? Could they talk tough? Yeah. But could Jay Powell also potentially admit that this is going on, particularly after Walmart reports what they've reported? I mean, somebody's going to ask Jay Powell at the press conference about downside risks to the economy. So I'm just like wondering, what happens if everybody is like selling ETH with reckless abandon and Jerome Powell goes, yeah, those Walmart earnings, we're keeping an eye on that. I mean, ETH is going to go to 2,000. Now, whether it stays at 2,000 or not, I don't know. But I'm looking at this, you're looking at this, and the Fed has to be looking at this, right? Because they have to raise rates, but, do they have to do 50 or 75? Or does Jerome Powell merely get up in front of the world and just say, you know what, we're really sorry we had to create a recession? There's a lot of room at that press conference, right? So when you're watching this tomorrow, right, you're like, okay, let's pay attention to what he said at the press conference, because the bond market thinks that the next Fed rate hike in September is going to be unwound with the Fed rate. They're going to ease or lower rates 6 months later. So they may talk tough tomorrow, but this news is out there. All right. This news is out there, which is why I'm not like super catastrophically bearish. Now, I will give you the catastrophically bearish read in a minute. All right. A word from the land of NFTs. So this is Doddles, and this is considered a blue chip NFT project. The floor is 10 ETH. I'm personally an Azuki fan. I think we did an Azuki Hidden Gems episode where we said, is Azuki worth 9 ETH? Now, check that video out when it comes out. If it's not already out, right? I'll give you my opinion on Azuki in that video. Okay. Let's just say I've been a big fan of that style of artwork. But I'm looking at this and I go, well, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and they want to charge 10 ETH for that. I'm like, oh, okay, that's interesting. Well, Token Metrics has got its own form of art. Now, we don't know what the pricing is, but I don't know. 10 ETH for this, or you can follow Astrobot Society on Twitter and find out about our version of art, which will be released on the ETH network. So smash the like button. For me personally, I would appreciate it. For Token Metrics, for the market update, and all of our friends at Astrobot Society. I know the guys who are doing this. I know the guys who are doing it. And they are 3 or 4 of the best young guys that we have. All right. 2 of them came up under me as analysts, and now they are rocking this. Right. So hats off to you gentlemen at Astrobot Society on Twitter. I think you'll be happy you did it. All right, let's go to TA. So I had 21,700 as a key level in Bitcoin. Naturally, they have to take it down and stop everybody out and be a pain in my ass, right? The support is at 19,300. And I think if you go down below 20K, there's something we have to consider, right? There's something we have to think about. And I'm sitting here going, who is selling Bitcoin at 20K? Like Musk is out, Celsius is being reorganized. Who is selling Bitcoin at 20K? Now, this is serious, right? There could be somebody else out there that's liquidating, because this market, the way it goes down, it kind of creeps me out, right? It just goes straight down and sits. There's no like ebb and flow. So if Bitcoin does break down, right, after the Fed, I think you have to think about that there may be somebody else out there that's doing forced selling. Because frankly, I don't even know what it's doing down here to begin with, right? The Fed is going to pivot at some point. August may be choppy, but there's going to be a rally off like the September employment report, and definitely after the FOMC meeting or before that in September. So the only reason that anybody would be selling Bitcoin at 20K or puking out ETH at, I don't know, 1,300 or 1,200 is if there's something out there again. There's something out there and it ain't no man. So you know that if Jerome Powell acknowledges recession risk, I think crypto should go up. Matter of fact, there's a lot of work like Elliott Wave and a lot of stuff that would indicate that selling crypto down here is crazy. It's not crazy if there's forced selling going on, because that's what drove the market down to begin with. So I can't predict what I can't see. If Powell pivots, ETH's going to 2,000. If Powell pivots and ETH doesn't go up, then there's a forced seller out there, and you have to be careful. So I know that on YouTube, you like, it's going up or, it's going down. But when you head into the Fed, you got to be realistic. You got to be realistic, right? So the Warpler says, keep the chopper engine running. Yes, keep the chopper engine running, right? And sometimes being flat or just being nimble and ready to react tomorrow is the way to go. Now, again, I'm looking at Bitcoin, and I'm actually surprised it retraced 62% of the recent run up. Like, I honestly thought when it bottomed that this thing was going to like 32 and we were never going to see 20 again. But the market has a different idea. They're afraid of Powell or somebody's selling. I would have thought Bitcoin would have followed ETH and gone much higher. That was the first clue. The first clue wasn't to drop. The first clue was that Bitcoin never followed ETH on the way up. I'm like, what's up with that? Especially since Musk already puked it out. Somebody's selling Bitcoin. Now that either ends tomorrow or it doesn't end tomorrow, and that's an indication that there's a problem. Okay, ETH, again, torturing everybody, right? The 38% retracement of the move up was 1414, Naturally, they have to take it below that, stop everybody out. And again, this is either a stop fishing exercise in front of a Fed pivot or there's something wrong out there. Now I'm looking at this. This is the quant. This is why you take your TM20 code. I can't live without this. I wake up every day. This is the first thing I do. And I'm like, I'm going on the show today, and I'm like, all right, there's support in ETH from a quant perspective at 1346. I mean, it didn't pay to buy it up here at 1600 over the weekend. And now it's down to 1346 and everyone's all negative. The only reason to get negative is if there's forced liquidation that pushes it through 1346. But you'll just forgive me for not being like super bearish because you sell resistance and you buy support. Now, I kind of thought 1459 was going to hold, but it didn't. It didn't, right? This is a wild market, right? Fear of the Fed is real, and there could be forced selling out there. But again, tomorrow, if the Fed pivots and the market rips up, I think you got to be ready to jump in. And I also think if the Fed pivots tomorrow or it's as expected and the market doesn't go up, you know, the forced seller could return, assuming the forced seller is out there. Okay. And that is the market update. So we're going to probably try to do this today, mostly with live TA, right? Because again, the Fed's coming up, right? So, I mean, I can be like, oh yeah, here's the prediction, blah, 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 blah. But no, there's like the Fed plus forced selling. Okay. Steve Lopez says ETH to 1100. Here on ETH, you know, the 62% retracement is down here at 1256. So you know how I feel about 62% retracements. If they don't hold, it's no good. Which is why I think Bitcoin is so interesting, right? I mean, Bitcoin's got a battle going on at the 62% retracement at 20,900. Be interesting to see who wins that battle, right? You know, I mean, if Bitcoin gave you another shot at 20, like I understand if you didn't want to buy it on the way down when, you know, the Celsius and Voyager and 3 Hours Capital liquidation was going on. I understand that. I actually thought Celsius, all that wrapped Bitcoin was going to get dumped and that was going to destroy the market like 1929. But, you know, now it's like the battle of Bitcoin at 20,000. You know, I'm not thrilled about selling it. The only reason I would get out of the way is if there's somebody being forced, there's forced liquidation again, right? And of course, that could be disastrous, like if it's an exchange or a hedge fund, or we don't know what it is. But you'll know tomorrow. You'll know tomorrow, right? Jerome Powell says we acknowledge recession risk and crypto doesn't go up, there's a problem. Because if Jerome Powell says there's recession risk, ETH should go to 2,000. Because it means the rate hike cycle is coming to a close. Okay. So we have people coming in for Colombia. AAM says he's tired of feeding the bear. Yeah, I know, dude. I'm a little tired of feeding the bear too. Because, you know, I got constructive on this thing and I thought it was going to hold up, right? I thought there would be a mild retracement. So this is a 4-hour chart of Avalanche, right? And this goes along with the whole Bitcoin thing. Like on the 4-hour chart of Avalanche, 1982 is support. Now, I'm sorry. I have a really hard time saying, oh yeah, let's get all bearish here. Let's get all bearish here. I can't do it. Now, if there's a problem and we need to keep the chopper running, as one astute person said, okay, I got it. You know, if it's all going, somebody says, Bill, should I jump off the chopper? I don't think you should jump off the chopper, right? But I think you should acknowledge what can happen tomorrow. Like, I think this video, if you're watching this video today, good for you. If you're watching this video tomorrow, it's very relevant because we don't know what he's going to say at the press conference. right? And Avalanche is holding support, right? Now, somebody was also talking about like Fizzle for Shizzle says, I got my chips for the dip. Okay. Yeah. Right. And then somebody's also hinting that, you know, this could be like leftover 3 hours capital liquidation, which, you know, it's like, I don't doubt it. I honestly don't. Okay. Near massive new high over the weekend. Okay. This is the 4-hour chart of near, right? So again, where is, you know, support should have been at 380. It should also be support at 370, but it's not holding. No, I kind of hate when they do this. They just push it down and push it down and push it down. And there's like no bid to it. Like this is what makes me worried. So I'll switch from Fed pivot to forced selling. There's like no bounce at all. None. Right? This is like somebody leaning on it. This is what scares me. Because I over this weekend, I was like, you know what? Bitcoin should have gone up. It should have gone up. Seriously. There was like 16 different reasons why Bitcoin and crypto should have gone up over the weekend. And it tried to, but then it ran into a brick wall. And I somehow suspect that that brick wall doesn't have anything to do with the Fed. Okay? It may have something to do with people panicking, right? Okay, so someone wants to check out Chainlink. All right, so here's the problem with all these DeFi coins, right? They just, you know, it's not a bull market until you can buy a dip and make money, right? So Chainlink dips and everyone loses money, right? The 62% retracement in Chainlink is 641. Right? You know, a lot of the coins that led the market up, like I saw Uniswap was like down like 9% today. All these DeFi coins are just getting smoked. Now, there's an important lesson here. And I was saying this, you know, kind of all along. If you're going to try to play this from the long side, stay away from S coins. Don't do it. Now, if you have an S coin, you want to hold it, see how it does, okay. But piling into S coins doesn't seem to make any sense. It doesn't. So, because if there's forced selling, that stuff's going to get destroyed. Right? Bitcoin and ETH has volume, and, you know, we'll see if it can absorb any possible forced selling. So if you're going to be long, not investment advice, bigger is better. Okay, so Illuvium, you know, kind of a coin that we like, at least in terms of, you know, like its fundamentals. You know, again, it's all the way up, all the way down, right? Let's go over here and check out Illuvium on Token Metrics. We can maybe even go look at Link too and just check out what's going on there. Close some of these windows and give me some more horsepower. So, you know, the grade on Illuvium is pretty low. So, you know, Illuvium never went up. By the way, I'm going to, don't let me forget about the 60-day moving average thing. Okay, so we're going to try to look at Illuvium. So Illuvium, I think, has got to get above 153, right? See how it kind of went up there and failed? You know, you also have to be careful in some of these small altcoins. Like, God forbid, this is like a 3 arrows capital thing, right? Like, you got to be careful of give up trades. Like, you're like, Bill, was that last trade not the give up trade? No, that was the panic liquidation. people got a little taste of hope, right? And now all of a sudden I'm like, oh no, not again. And that's where people lose their mind. So, you have to manage risk. You have to manage risk in smaller coins. Now, Chainlink didn't used to be a smaller coin, but it is now. Okay. So Chainlink is kind of doing a dance it's doing a dance around 648. Now, it did go to 875 and get rejected. That bothers me, right? That means at a definitive resistance point, people were selling Chainlink. And you can see this was a big kind of inflection zone in 2020. Okay. So, I'm not going to be like, oh my God, sell Chainlink at 6, but you have to be realistic about what this thing can do. Now, if the Fed pivots, this stuff can go up a lot. But be careful about the forced selling. You'll know tomorrow. Like, this video may have to live for like 2 or 3 days. You will know. Like, if the Fed pivots and it goes up, great. The Fed pivots and it doesn't go up, well, then you're probably looking at a horrendous first week of August, right? MMC John says, I can't look at small coins down 90%. That is unfortunately what happens to small coins in these type of environments. Okay, Polkadot, I'm having like a WTF moment in Polkadot, right? Like 7 was support and it went through that. 717 was support and it went through that like it wasn't even there. I don't know what to say about Polkadot, right? I thought that there was some good fundamental thing and it's not there, right? It's just not there. Now Zcash, which is breaking my heart, ironically, of all the ideas that I had, this was the first one to go bad. And I had no idea I had no idea that Zcash would actually just trade that badly. It just, it was at 65. I'm like, it's going to go to 80. And then it turned around and went to 53. I should have known. Seriously. I should have known right there when this thing that I think has this like majorly amazing hidden fundamental story failed. I should have known that the market was toast, right? So Zcash was at 61. I'm like, oh my God, Zcash went to like 65. I'm like, damn, I'm missing out. It's going to go to 71 or 82 because, ETH took out multiple levels. Once ETH bottomed, it took out like 2 or 3 of these levels. So I'm like, oh my God, Zcash is going to 100. And then the next thing you know, I'm stopped out at 60, 61. I'm like, and I should have known. Seriously, like this was the first warning shot of a problem. This was the warning shot of a problem. Okay, Engine Coin. And the real question is, how do you get involved in the NFT universe? Like, I swear to God, art and stocks are not correlated. So if you're going to have a recession or equities are going to get wrecked, I don't know, man. You got to go out and find yourself some art. Now, I've already told you kind of what my thought on that is, and I don't want to have to repeat myself, even though our Astrobot guys would love it if I would. But, art and stocks are not correlated. So if there's forced selling going on, there's got to be a way to get long art as a way to say, all right, I want to do a long-term hodl trade. Now, this is Engine Coin. And again, they take it through 45, stop everyone out. They run it up to 63. It's resistance and it fails. And then it comes back down again. This is going on all over the cryptoverse. Like I was like, oh my God, this thing's going to like I said, it's going to do what ETH did. It's going to take out 63 and 78 and it's going to wind up at 115. by, I don't know, early next week. Well, wrong. Now, am I wrong because people are afraid of the Fed, right? Or am I wrong because there's 3 hours capital liquidation going on? Like these guys might have had huge personal accounts. So I thought all the bad news was out, and that may not be the case. Okay. So Uniswap, let's check out Uniswap. Uniswap, Sushi, they were the first coins out of the gate. Okay. And here's what happened, right? So Uni was kind of in no man's land. It went into like a void. And then it came back up and it's at resistance. So 450 was one level in Uni, right? Okay, so when it broke through 450, right, I figured it would be logical for it to go to 676, which is exactly what it did, and then it failed. See, this is why you got to have this AI stuff, right? When I look at this, like I can't look at everything, right? When I look at this, I'm like, damn it. This is beware the failed rally. Now, this scares me. Like the Uniswap chart scares me. This was the first thing on the way up to move, and now it's the first thing to do an obvious failed rally. Let's just check where ETH is right now. Right. Again, still down 4%. Still down 4%. Like not even moving. Okay. So WIC 589, I like this. This is different market from 2021 and all the crypto Super Bowl nonsense. Anybody left now is a hardcore holder. They've seen some action. Okay. Now, so this is a great point, right? A lot of retail has been flushed out, right? And a lot of people aren't coming back. At least that's what I thought, which is why I'm like, I don't understand why everyone's selling. I mean, but everybody is selling. Somebody is. Somebody is. What's up with that? Okay. Okay, so Crypto Star is saying, what do you think about this? Or where can Bitcoin go in the downturn? Okay. Let me get to that in a second. Is Astrobot on OpenSea? It will run on the ETH network. It's not on OpenSea not yet. Astrobot Society, at Astrobot Society is where you would follow all the developments because they're rolling out everything slowly via that Twitter account. So art and stocks are not correlated. Now, what do I think of Bitcoin? All right, let's do that. So I'm looking at this, right? This is Bitcoin monthly. And I'm saying to myself, okay, you have kind of a doji forming. You got about 4 days left in the month. You got a doji forming, and it's a pi cycle bottom. So we saw this at the absolute bottom of the market in ETH at 1,000. I don't know. Yeah. We also have the pi cycle bottom in ETH. Let me get you a chart that doesn't have mad science fib circles all over it. Okay, so it's not on the Bybit chart. Okay, so there's ETH. Okay, there's ETH. Pi cycle bottom. such a hard time unless there's more forced selling saying that this is no good. Now, maybe August will just, maybe August will just suck, right? You know, sometimes, even though it doesn't make for exciting YouTube content, okay, sometimes you have to ask yourself, you know, should I take a month off? One other thing to do is to say, is now the time to do DCA, right? It's like, DCA, should you do it now? I would vote yes. I know, that sounds crazy. Let them force sell this thing. They're probably going to sell it the first week of August. And if there's forced selling out there, you know, now is when I would start doing DCA, right? I mean, you know, for ETH to go back to 800, you'd need another Celsius level calamity. Is that out there? I don't know. But I know a lot of smart guys are kind of like maybe hoovering this stuff up, you know, looking for a bigger September rally. So if there's a pi cycle bottom, right, it may take another month to get a real bottom in. Like, you know, there was a pi cycle bottom in October of 2018, and it took a couple of months for it to start turning around. And even in 2020, post-COVID, right? So, you know, it was like April and May and June before, you know, ETH really took off, right? Yeah, I mean, ETH went from 100 to 200, and that was a big range, right? But it doesn't take off right away. So what I'm trying to do in this video is to maybe see if I can get you to look past the fact that there's forced selling today. Or then people may freak out over the Fed. Like, who's talking about DCA now? Nobody, I think. Nobody's talking about DCA. Right? Everyone is like, oh God, it stopped going up. Okay, well, good. It stopped going up. Maybe it's going to give you a shot. Somebody on the stream said ETH 1100 or ETH 1250. Okay. Now here comes a good question. Is Coinbase safe? Okay, that's a good question. Is Coinbase safe? Well, I guess one of the things I can tell you is Goldman doesn't think so, because Goldman downgraded the stock. Now it downgraded it kind of here at the low. So this is Coin Daily. This chart makes me want to get to the chopper. Okay, so I just got told Kraken is under federal investigation, suspected of violating U.S. sanctions. So is anybody safe anywhere? I don't know. Right? I just don't know. The way Coinbase is trading, people are losing their minds for reasons other than the Fed. Right? Now, again, U.S. government regulators are on the warpath. You know, they're looking to get insider trading people at Coinbase, rightly or wrongly. They're trying to look into OpenSea, right? Like, the U.S. government is out to get parts of the crypto industry, which is funny, right? Like, they're looking to get Kraken for violating sanctions. Meanwhile, you know, somebody's out there buying Russian oil. You know, I don't think the sanctions are having no impact on Russia, which must mean no one's following them. So if Kraken is under investigation, okay, they're under investigation. That's not the issue. I don't think. The issue is there forced selling? Is Coinbase safe? Dude, I got to be honest with you. The safest place to put crypto is in your own custody, right? You use an exchange, you get that crypto off if you want to hodl crypto. Now, if you want to trade, okay, you can trade, but I would not have your entire account anywhere, right? I mean, if the Celsius debacle has taught us anything, it's don't have all your money in one place. Actually, I think you need to have your money in 3 places, okay? So Mike Shaw says, XRP holders told you the SEC wants control of it all. We need to band together, okay? And somebody regrettably said, I bought some Coinbase at the top, okay? Now, if you bought some Coinbase at the top, you have something in common with every trader who's ever lived, who has bought the high and sold the low, sometimes on the same move. Okay, now what may be happening with Coinbase is that stocks are in trouble, right? I mean, it has not, if you look at the Williams oscillator, it has not turned out good for stocks when that oscillator has popped above 0. And the most toxic thing out there for stocks, while I'm at it, is, inflation, the Fed hiking rates, and earnings and growth rolling over at the same time. It's horrible. So if the Fed doesn't pivot tomorrow, who knows? Crypto may be going down in advance of a calamity in equities. Every time I call for a calamity in equities, it doesn't happen. But this is a very clear ABC correction. So Roman says, what do you think of micro caps on Binance Smart Chain? Is the high risk still worth the huge potential gains you can make since they are volatile? Okay, Roman, well, thanks for the question. Here's my answer. In a tightening environment, you don't speculate, right, or gamble until the tightening environment is coming to a close or the market expects it to come to a close. Now, I know that, there are small coins that moon even in down markets. But I think you need to adjust your head to being nimble, because what's going to happen to what you buy on Binance Smart Chain if there's some kind of problem out there that we don't know about? I mean, why is Bitcoin down 2%? Why is ETH not bouncing? God, let's just pull up like 15-minute ETH. I mean, there is just absolutely no bounce in ETH, like none. Like this is like straight. This is like, let me see if I can draw this. This is like bowling ball out of a window on 15-minute ETH. What the hell is up with that? So the answer to the question is, should you speculate? Okay, well, you can speculate when ETH stops acting like a bowling ball falling out of a window, right? Because, I mean, the more I look at this, the more I'm like, something is wrong. There's a problem out there. It's a Fed problem, a stocks problem, a real estate problem, a 3 hours capital problem. I mean, I would love to see the Fed pivot tomorrow and have this thing just scream to the upside. That would actually be kind of funny, right? But, I think people who missed the down market are piling into shorts. There was a guy who was 10x levered short around 1480. And I said, yeah, this looks like a pretty good day trade. And that guy's probably having a party, or he's buying a new car today. So people who either missed the down move or, they were short sellers to begin with, they're attacking this thing. They're attacking it. So, okay. So Chike says, macro still not looking good. Why should crypto rally? All right. Well, if the macro's terrible, crypto won't rally, right? If the Fed doesn't care about a recession, and is going to hike rates to crush inflation, you're right. Crypto's not going up, right? My opinion is that the macro, as in the economic data, is so bad. Do you realize yesterday the Fed's Texas manufacturing index was down 25% year over year? I'm sorry, month over month. Like, manufacturing is collapsing, right? I saw another statistic that the number of countries that have inflation below 2% is now zero. Is now zero. Meanwhile, you know, these are inflation break-evens. What's that? Well, it's kind of like the bond market's view of future inflation. So as you can see, right, way back in June of 20, this has done nothing but go up, right? Like, this has done nothing. Look at the pi cycle bottom in April of 2020. Okay. So up it goes, and then everybody is inflation hysterical, and it starts coming off. Like, the bond market regarding inflation is going the other way. Okay. Okay. So Roman says, thank you for the answer. I've been playing around with micro caps and I got wrecked, right, on a lot of them, but I bought, you know, Gidget Inu, and I'm up 3x on it. Yeah, I know, it's funny. We joked around about Luna Inu. I was calling, like, the regular Luna coin because it went down so low in price, Luna Inu, right? And somebody actually came out with Luna Inu. Like, somebody actually made a meme coin out of Luna, and it like 6x'd. Folks, crypto's fun, and I don't want you to not have fun, but honestly, I would prefer that let this macro stuff shake out. Let the macro stuff shake out. Then if you want to speculate, go ahead. We'll see what the bond market thinks about inflation, right? Just remember, you know, if you go over here, I'm pretty sure the yield curve is still inverted, right? Okay. So this is the yield curve. This is the spread between the 30-year government bond and the 2-year note. Long rates, right? Long-term rates should be higher than short-term rates. Well, guess what? They're not. Short-term rates are higher than long-term rates. The last time we saw something like that was the 2008 crisis when the economy fell out of bed, along with the stock market. So, I mean, again, that could be, you know, that could be why everyone's panicking about crypto. So, look, I wanted to get long crypto 2 days ago, and it didn't work. Okay, now I'm like neutral. Now, Roman says, how did I learn technical analysis, by the way? Okay, so that's a good story. So let me unshare the screen and tell you that story. So back in 1990, remember, no computers. I had a computer, I believe. Okay. You know, no computers. I wrote a letter to JP Morgan. I had a reference from a guy next door who had been an intern there. And they interviewed me, and I got one of 2 internships nationwide at JP Morgan's new facility at 60 Wall Street. Right? So here I am. I went to Rutgers. That's the State University of New Jersey. I beat the Ivy League guys to a trading desk job. And I was on the currency desk, was like the biggest or the second biggest in New York. And in August, right, they said one of the assistant traders wanted to go on vacation. And they said, let the kid do it. The assistant trader went on vacation, and here I am sitting at the trading desk, actually working with a trader. And then on August 3rd, 1990, I saw this headline on this little green screen that I had. Iraq invades Kuwait. And I'm like, what is that? Iraq invades Kuwait? What does that mean? Well, what it meant was oil doubled, and I was sitting as the junior Swiss franc trader, the global safe haven. So the market went wild. We weren't using spreadsheet. There was no windows. We had to keep the position by hand. So the trader was like, am I long or am I short? I can't answer the question because so many trades are happening. We're writing trade tickets. There was so much chaos. I lost motor skills. Like I couldn't type numbers into a calculator because I was so nervous. So after when that was over, I talked to the technical analyst at JP Morgan and I said, hey man, I can't live through that kind of chaos anymore. I bet everybody comes up to you and says, hey, what do you do? And he's like, actually, no one does. Because unlike crypto in legacy, no one is into TA. No one. Like you might have a building full of fundamental analysts and one guy doing charts. That's still true. Whereas at crypto, I mean, everybody that's got a Twitter account is an analyst. So this guy took me out, took me to a Japanese restaurant, right? He gave me John Murphy's chart book, and I was off to the races. And I wound up getting a job at Swiss Bank Corp, which the logo of that company is now UBS's logo. And they basically offered me any resources I needed to learn TA. So I got John Murphy's book. I got a workbook. I learned candlesticks from the guy that wrote the candlestick book, Steve Nissen. I took a class. There was like 4 people in it. It was like candlesticks. What's that? That's stupid. There's like 4 guys in the class. So I just studied, right? I just studied. I studied hard. And then, I studied hard. And then, I picked up GAN. When I started crypto, I was like, I don't know what is this. People like look at Bitcoin. It's like 2017. I'm like, what's Bitcoin? What's Bitcoin? I have no idea what this is. I don't even understand it. So in order to understand it, I started to plot it by hand. Then I started to watch, how did it move relative to like bonds and currencies? Then I started to understand like this is a unique form of money. Okay. And it's like, a nonstop parabolic. I watched the 2017 run happen. I'm like, oh my God. I've only seen that, 1 or 2 other times. But I had to plot crypto by hand in order to learn it. And TC says, there's something out there. There's something out there, Bill. And you know what? Like I said, I'm starting to agree with you. Right? Because this is just like down only. Coinbase down, MicroStrategy down 10%. I'm like, shit. I turned my back on the bear. Which always happens, right? You think it's breaking out and you're like, hey, this is going to correct. I had a lot of DeMark work. Okay. Wrong again says, hey, Bill, I'm late. We're headed back up. Well, I think the only way this is headed back up is if 1356 holds in ETH. That's a support point from our quant work. Okay. And, the Fed's got to pivot tomorrow. Okay. Fed's got to pivot tomorrow. Okay. So Roman is asking, how can I use technical analysis on microcaps? Okay. Well, the fact of the matter is you really can't. I think if there's enough history, there'll be a token metrics grade on the microcap if it has enough history, and you'll just have to track the token metrics grade. Let me share the screen. So, you know, I mean, if it's stuff that just came out, you know, it's got to have, you know, it's got to have enough price action. It's got to have enough price action to have a grade. Right. So Luna Inu doesn't have any price action yet. Okay. Now, that said, you can actually keep these things in a spreadsheet. Where did it first start trading? Where did it open and close each week? And you can also look at it as to like, where did it open, close each day? Use an Excel spreadsheet to calculate, I don't know, the 5-day moving average, the 20-day moving average, right? But a lot of the stuff on Binance Smart Chain, it is like gambling, right? Now, I think another way to do it is maybe to count like how many up days in a row are there. So look at trades that haven't worked. They probably go way up and then crash. And then the stuff that builds momentum will probably make, you know, if it makes 3 higher highs and 3 higher lows, that may be worth considering. But you're going to have to keep track of it manually, either in Excel or by hand. All right. Somebody's asking, what is the best book you would recommend to learn TA? Okay. Well, let me get that up here. Kind of an unusual direction for today's stream, which I'm not opposed to that. Okay. Okay, let me get the screen up here. Okay, this is what I started with. Technical analysis of financial markets. Okay, this is where I started. Okay, so Roman is asking, you know, Gidget Inu. Let me see if I can get that up. Roman, we appreciate the business, man. Appreciate you being fired up on the stream. I hope I can. Steve Conway says there's a Wyckoff book. Let me see if I can pull that up after I help Roman here. Okay, I'm not getting anything on that. Okay, let me see if I can get Nomics. Okay, a lot of this stuff's not coming up. Let's try. Oh yeah, you know, I forgot about this. You know, sometimes Coin Market Cap, CoinGecko will let you, you know, will let you look at charts of stuff.
Can't share screen.
Right, not sharing the screen. Let me see if I can just, let me see if I can get Nomics up. Okay, well, dude, I can't get the charts up. You know, if you want to go into, say, Token Metrics Twitter DM, I'm crypto_noble. I think when you're looking at a lot of these like 1 minute or 5 minute charts, it comes down to like higher highs, lower lows, and it also comes down to, let me see if I can bring up something. Okay, you know what? Let's try this. Let's try to use ApeCoin. Because I know ApeCoin obviously was like the new hot thing when it came out, right? So how do you, what worked in ApeCoin when it first came out. Let's try that.
Not sharing.
Right. Sorry. All right. So I'm trying to get this one up. Okay. Now let me see if it'll let me break it down. Appreciate everyone's patience while I try to work this out here. The question at hand is, how do we chart super small cap coins? Okay. So here's Ape when it first came out, right? So all these things, they shoot up and then they come back down again. One of the first clues, I think, is whether or not when it goes down, does it hold the 62% retracement? I learned this from Oh Hey Matty. Right? Notice this is ApeCoin, and this is ApeCoin around 10. So it went to 15, and then it went to 10, and this is 62%. So you may have to calculate this stuff by hand, right? The question is, as is always, okay, if it goes down, can I buy a dip? If I buy a dip, can I make money? Now, in this market, okay, again, with ETH now down what? 4.8%. Like, nobody who bought the dip made money. Okay, Roman is looking at, let me see if I can bring that up on CoinGecko, what he's looking at. Okay. So I won't say it on the air, but this is like the stuff that we're looking at. Okay. And, you know, like I said, straight up and straight down. People, you got to be careful of predators. All right. Okay. You got to be careful. Okay. Right. And I do appreciate the chat engagement. I appreciate that. Okay. Let me put up, let me bring up one more book since people were asking for book. You know, this guy Nissen, right? You know, he actually translated manuscripts from Japan. He had the manuscripts translated and he wrote the book. Okay. And people thought he was out of his mind. And then I had to work with a chart system, CQG. Like I didn't want to say I was one of the first guys, but I used one of the first systems to actually carry the candle charts that he used. And my teacher who taught me market profile, something used in the bond market, like this was one of the best books. And I remember it's this big hardcover book, right? A big hardcover book. He wrote two of them, right? You know, and of course, there's a ton of books out there. I don't even know if you can get the second book by Nissen anymore, right? Let me see if I can put Steve Nissen in here, what comes up with. Okay, and then I'll put up other books if people are interested. And I guess if we look at the stats and engagement falls out of bed, right, we'll know no one was interested. Okay, so he had a candlestick course, so I guess he wrote, okay, and here was the other one. Okay, so this one, the charting techniques was 2001 for the second edition. I'm pretty sure this is the one I read, right? Contemporary Guide to the Ancient Art of Investment, March 22nd, 1991. Okay. So, I mean, that's where I started. And really, when you do this stuff, I mean, candlesticks would always be about like where a candlestick occurs. Like, does a candlestick occur on support? Does it occur on resistance? Right? There's always like confirmation. Does it occur when RSI is turning up or when there's a stochastics divergence? In other words, you don't need just the candlestick book, but you need what Murphy said as well. Now, sometimes those kind of books can be the cure for insomnia, but a lot of people think that you can just like wake up and learn TA because it's all over crypto Twitter. All right. I mean, if you really want to master your craft, then, you know, you got to study. You're not going to get it all in one day. Okay. I think we had somebody else coming in. You were talking about NFTs and art. Nico, we appreciate you. Okay. And art will score large in the next move, possibly. What's your take on Lusco and their approach towards fashion NFTs? Okay. So with that said, you know, I can't make investment recommendations on NFTs. We have NFT analysts that look and score these projects, and I have to leave that to them. What is art? It's in the eye of the beholder. I also think that there is going to be, like, Azuki wants to do decentralized streetwear. So they want to cross over between NFTs and fashion. And that's what makes me excited about Azuki. Plus, I love the art. Now, what anybody else is doing, you know, there's got to be a way to play phygital, right? A jacket, I saw this at NFTLA, a jacket worn by somebody who was called the first crypto supermodel, a nice blazer that had a barcode or a QR code where you could scan it and get information about the artist. And if you bought the jacket, you also got an NFT because the jacket was purchased in Decentraland. Now, you may have heard that story before, but if there's homework to be done, right, it's where's the play in phygital? Okay. Fernando says, is Hivemapper on the radar at Token Metrics? Well, I would say become a subscriber to our premium group and you can find out what the answer to that question is. Okay. Helium has not done much. Okay. El Cadijo says, respect the TA, sell in May and go away. Right. If Three Arrows Capital is liquidating here, I'm going to feel like an idiot. I'm seriously. Right. Because they gave you a huge rally to sell, which looked like a reversal, which is a nice way of saying, you know, if this was turn your back on the bear, it happens to the best of us. Right? It happens to the best of us. Okay. Somebody wants me to look at render. Okay. Let me see if I can get it up on Token Metrics. Right. And who knows, like, feel free to leave a comment below. Right. So we have a premium member who wants TA on render. So I'll make sure I take good care of you. Okay. Also, we have a premium webinar tomorrow at 10 a.m. Central Time. So market update on Wednesday is now exclusively for premium customers. So, you know, Astrobot can help you possibly get one of those memberships because I think the mint, they're going to go do, I think the NFTs themselves will give you lifetime memberships. Now, what membership you get at the mint remains to be seen, but, you know, if you like Token Metrics, it could be an interesting thing to follow. So follow Astrobot Society. Trust me. Okay, so render, I can't find any support, right? Okay, it looks like it started trading right around where it is right now. And, you know, today is obviously not a good day to be talking about any crypto because it's just kind of all getting killed, right? Now, I am interested in metaverse. I am interested in art. If we could just get some clarification from the Fed, right? Okay, so render, if we're looking at an 89-minute chart, and again, this is going to be key for just about everything. The 62% retracement is 51 cents. Okay, so, everyone loves it when it's going up, but if this is, and this will be, this will be great to watch tomorrow, right? That's ABC. If that's an ABC correction, then renders a buy at 51 cents, assuming we're not looking at some disaster scenario, right? We have to wait for tomorrow. If this is 3 Arrows Capital liquidation, well, it's no bueno. But if it's just fear of the Fed, let's see what they have to say. Okay, so we're going to Twitter now. I'm going to go to Twitter. Roman is definitely pumped up today, helping us out with super chats. We appreciate that. Okay, he wants me to look at. Okay, let me pull this up here. Okay. So we have Gidget Inu here. It doesn't tell me what the trading signal, the trading symbol is. I'm trying to go to the website. So as I pull this up, just a reminder, this is not investment advice at all. Okay. The Taco Bell dog lives on through memes. Okay. All right. I still can't get the trading signal. I can't get the symbol. We may have to look at it tomorrow. Listen, here's what I'm going to tell you. It's fun. It's fun to have fun in crypto. Wait, let me see. There's a Dex Tools link here. It's fun to have fun in crypto, right? If you got the money and you like gambling, then, crypto can be more fun than Las Vegas. Okay, so I do have it here. So let's talk about, I don't know, let's talk about how to short or play in small coins. So, when you have stuff like this, you've got the little trading view thing over here. It comes out, it goes down, and then it holds at where? The 62% retracement at 0.85 cents. And, I'm obviously not the only one who sees that. A lot of people see that, which is why, they give up and then it goes up. Now, again, not investment advice, not endorsing this. There's a guy at Token Metrics I know. He may love this and want to jump in here, but you got to be careful of traps. But if you're charting this thing, all of these things, they always go up and then they retrace. If it holds 62% and you believe in it, then that's where you go, right? So we have Sydney coming in. Welcome, right? The sheepdog army keeping you out of trouble. I'm trying to keep you out of trouble tomorrow with the Fed. I'm also trying to keep you out of any situation where, let's just go back to ETH. Let's close it out here. Okay. So the sheepdog, I read the prayer of the sheepdog trying to get everybody out of the way of the last crash. I got everybody out of the way. That's good. Right. And then Twitter, they started calling me the head of the sheepdog army. And I appreciate that. I want to keep you out of trouble again. Right. I definitely want to keep you out of trouble again. Right. So watch out for liquidation. Watch out for how the market reacts to the news. Just remember, if you got a Token Metrics subscription, there's support at 1346. So there was resistance at 1656, and now everyone was FOMOing in. This was like Saturday, right? Everyone was FOMOing in on Saturday and giving up on it today. So if there's liquidation in the market, okay, I get it. It's bad. But if the Fed pivots tomorrow, gee, and with everyone stopping out here, you have to acknowledge both scenarios. So let's sum it up. Okay. Wrong again says 75 basis points up only. I was actually wondering about 50 basis points. Can you imagine if they just did 50? Wow. Think about it. Okay. So here's the summary. I don't like the fact that this was up only and then down only. That's weird. Okay. It makes me afraid that there's forced selling going on. Now, that said, when forced selling ends, okay, and I have said this, when forced selling ends, you can just levitate. So there's a Fed statement, there's a Fed rate hike, and then there's a press conference. So you got to be careful. Like, I know there's people out there that want to get cowboy short this thing. Like, we got all kinds of people. We got people who want to get long the Taco Bell dog, just fine. And then we got people who want to be like massively leveraged short, thinking it's going to 800. It could if there's forced selling. But you got to watch that Fed pivot tomorrow. Now, if there's no Fed pivot and this thing keeps going down, then it's sheepdog mode. Get out of the way. There's nothing wrong with having no position. There is something wrong with being dogmatic, with saying, gee, I know for sure what's going to happen. I don't know for sure what's going to happen. But if you go to Token Metrics, you can get the levels to work off of, because that's what I'm working off of. Okay. Somebody says the Fed meetings are the best time to make money. They are. There have been huge moves off Fed meetings, which is why being nimble is a good idea. All right. Okay, yeah, somebody wants to see the screen of the ETH levels. Sorry, let me put that up here. So here we are in ETH, right? 1356 goes all the way back to January of last year. Okay. Now, I know it's a little scrunched up on the screen, but like, just look at the recent action, right? It was like everyone loved it up here and hates it down here. I want you to be careful of both things. I want you to be careful of forced liquidation. I also want you to be careful about cowboy leverage short. I mean, maybe ETH is going to go to 800, but I was actually thinking maybe DCA was appropriate. Right? Because again, once the forced selling ends, right, there's the ETH merge. So let's review. Fed, watch the press conference. If crypto goes up, okay, off a Fed pivot, it could go up a lot. It could go to ETH could go to 2K. Now, if there's a Fed pivot and crypto does not go up, then you got to start getting out, because then you know something is wrong. But we're not going to know, as of my final point. Don't be in a big hurry to trade right after the announcement. Right? Everybody always trades after the announcement, and the first trade that the market does is always wrong. Right? The first trade after an event is wrong. So if everyone's like, I'm hysterically bullish or I'm hysterically bearish, frequently the trend, unless it's dramatic, will start the next day. Okay? It'll start the next day. So yes, react, but don't be emotional. Okay? So, okay, if somebody wants to know what the next level is below 1346, I would say get a subscription to Token Metrics, but since I love y'all, the levels in ETH below that are 1208 and 1058. And this concludes with, hey, if you like Token Metrics and you like these levels, all I can tell you is go subscribe to the app. Go follow Astrobot Society Twitter. All right? Astrobot Society Twitter. All right? This is Bill Noble for the market update. Okay? I'm taking a little vacation. I will see you soon.